Welcome everyone to this CELPIP Speaking Part 5, Comparing and Persuading Analysis. Now, I'm just here in the Speaking Part 5 section of the CELPIP library. And before we get started, I do want to remind you that Speaking Part 5 has more focus on CLB 4 to 6. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you need to get CLB 4, 5, or 6, then you need to do better in this part, or you will have a chance to speak more and speak better in this part than in other parts, okay? That's because speaking part 5 has a more familiar situation or more common situations and easier questions to understand than part 1, part 6, or part 7, okay? So that's why you will have more opportunities to speak and you need to show that you can speak for this part, okay? Now, if you need to get CLB 7 or higher, this part will be easier for you and you can't really show your higher level English knowledge as much as in part 7, okay? And you should speak well for this part because it will be easier, okay? All right, so now also I want to remind you that we have this great Speaking Part 5 Tips and Strategies video, okay? That video will give you more details about how you can answer Part 5 better. Some tips that you can use, some strategies that you can use to answer the question, and some of the tips and strategies which I will use to answer this question, okay? And also, I will be speaking some of those tips and strategies in this example. But if you want to watch that video, it's a great video, and I will leave a link in the description box to that video. Okay? And let's look at today's volume sample. We're looking at volume 6, Lockers for Employees. Okay. So everyone, you see we have a CLB 5-6 sample and a CLB 7-9 sample. Okay, so you choose the level which is appropriate for you. Then we have in each section the video analysis which you're watching, and we have vocabulary building, both with vocabulary building. Vocabulary building is excellent to improve your vocabulary. We have some words with basic meanings, synonyms, and antonyms. And then this great exercise where you complete the sentence with one word from the list. Okay, great exercise to improve your vocabulary. And then we have grammar building. Grammar building, everyone. For part 5, we need to know our comparatives. How can we compare better? What do we do for adjectives? Okay. And a great practice exercise to improve our comparative language. Okay. So everyone, now some important tips and strategies for part 5. Firstly, everyone, in part 5, we are comparing and persuading. So we should try to use comparative language. Yes, comparative language, using more, less, greater, better. Okay? For example, part 5 is easier than part 7. Okay? Or you can say part 7 is more difficult than part 5. Okay? So it's very important to use comparative language when we are comparing the two options. Secondly, let's remember everyone to try to organize your answer. The more organized that you are, the better. Okay? Higher levels organize their answer more. Okay, we should try to avoid repetition, meaning do not repeat yourself. Let's try to follow a sequence or organize. And of course, try to speak for 1 minute. Okay? In our samples, we will be following a method or a pattern to answer our response. We are going to be introducing the question. It's very good to introduce the question. Okay, to be clear about the question. And then we're going to be using some of these connectors. Firstly, I'd say that my choice. Secondly, and last but not least, we're going to be using this kind of sequence to connect our ideas. Okay? Everyone, I do want to remind you that part 5 has 3 parts. First, you choose your option. For example, here's the question. You have 1 minute. You choose this option or this option. Whichever option. Okay. If you choose this option and then you go to the next part, that will be your choice, you see? And then the computer gives you another choice. Or you can choose the second option here, and that will be your choice right over here. And then the computer will give you the same option. Okay? So then, and you will have another minute to prepare. So the only thing that could be a good tip is for you to just choose the one which you understand more. Maybe you understand this information more, or maybe you understand this information more. It would be better to choose the one you know more. Okay? Let's get started. Okay, and this is, we're going to be doing a 5-6 sample, okay? So, part 5, comparing and persuading. Preparation time, 1 minute. Speaking time, 1 minute, okay? And so again, we've already made our choices here, okay? So again, just about the question, your company has decided to provide better lockers for employees. A coworker wants the compact locker, so this is what your coworker wants, but you think the full-length locker is better. So you have to persuade him to choose your choice, the full-length locker. Your coworker's choice, the compact locker. Okay, our choice, let's read it. Number lock provided. Okay, so it has a number lock there, 1.5 meters by 25 centimeters, 1 locker per column. Okay, 3 hooks on each side. So inside there's hooks to put your jacket maybe. Full length mirror. Okay, so you can see yourself well, and it costs $15 a month. Okay. Now your coworker's choice, compact locker. Bring your own lock. Okay. 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters. 2 lockers per column. Okay, here there's 3, but it says 2. Okay, 2. Multi-organizer and adjustable. So adjustable, you can move it. Small mirror. And $10 a month. Okay. Well, we can already see some things why this one is better, but maybe there's some things why this one is better. Anyways, we need to say why our choice is better. Okay. And so let's remember we need to organize well for level 5-6. So organizing well just means saying first, second, third. Okay. Just general basic ideas. Usually 5, 6, they just compare the words that are here. Just you need to speak them. Okay, that's all. And of course, we need to try to use general or level 5, 6 grammar. Okay. Some comparatives, I'll try to point those out to you. And we need to have a good rate of fluency. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So then, let's get to the question. And let's remember that we need to start by introducing the question. Okay, so let's introduce. Hello, Justin. I think the full-length locker is better for some reasons. Okay. Okay, I'm saying that the full-length locker, that's my choice. It's better for some reasons. Okay. Now I need to say what those reasons are. Let's remember, everyone, that I'm going to be using color to illustrate structure. Blue, we can use that all the time. Okay, red will be main grammar, and black will be all other parts. So, I'm saying why the full-length locker is better. Now, what are the reasons? What's first? Okay. Firstly, I think this locker is more convenient because it is longer. Okay. So there you go. Already we're saying it's more convenient. More convenient. So when we're trying to compare, we need to say what yours has. Why is it better? Why is it better? And here it says it's more convenient. Why is it more convenient? Because it is longer. Longer. That's comparing. Okay? And it's more convenient because it's longer. And why is that important? Okay, well, it says here. And this will make it easier for you to put all your work clothes, lunch, and other belongings. Belongings, things that are yours. So this first sentence, it's already very good. It's very good for level 5, 6, more 6 actually. Why? Because we gave 3 comparatives, more convenient, longer, easier. Okay? So we can say here, we can see that it's saying why it's better. Okay? We can even say it's longer because it's 1.5 meters. Yours is only 50 centimeters. You can say that information. Okay? And also we said it's easier to put everything in. Very good idea. So very important, comparative language. And secondly, we use just general present tense and future tense. You will do this. Okay? You can say can be as well, can make it easier. Okay, what's the next idea? Let's see. Secondly, I think this locker is more modern. Because it has a number lock. Does it say it has a number lock? Oh, number lock. It's not clear what kind of number lock it is. Maybe it could be like a regular lock that you just turn to the numbers. But here it says it's more modern because it has a number lock, and this will make it easier for you to remember the number. Okay. So it says it's more modern. It's better for you to remember the number. Easier, more modern. Okay. But with the lock, you can forget your key sometimes. I'm not sure it says here lock. Oh, bring your own lock. Okay. All right. So maybe you have to get a lock, and maybe you get a lock with a key so you can forget it. That's what it says over here. So you see, we're just trying to compare some things. Okay. Again, is, will make, and can forget. Okay. So that's the kind of grammar we want to use. And again, also comparative language, more modern. And also notice we say it's more convenient because. More modern because. What reason? And then why is that important? Okay. So two very good ideas so far. And actually, even just 2 ideas is good for level 5, 6. These ideas right here are very good. Of course, if you say everything correctly, if you express ideas correctly with not many grammar errors, already it's 6. Okay? And also, I want to say that because for level 5, we don't really need more. Even 2 ideas are good. If you're trying to develop level 5, just try to say at least 2 ideas. But we are going to give another idea because we want to speak more, and the more we say, the higher your score. So, what is our last idea? Lastly, I think this locker is better because it has a longer mirror. Okay. So, this can make it easier for you to get ready after work. Okay, well, we see it has a longer mirror. It says over here, longer mirror. Okay, and why is that good? Well, it's good because it can make it easier for you to get ready. Easier to get ready. Okay, very good. So you see, we said another idea. Present tense is has, okay, can make it, okay. And we use comparative language again. Longer, easier. So, everyone, very good answer for level 6 or higher. Again, the reason why it's 6 or higher is because we gave 3 good ideas where we used good language, we used good comparisons, okay? And we organized really well. And if you can do that, then that's level 6, okay? In quality. Now again, I said that level 5, this you don't have to speak so much for level 5. It can be less, okay? But try not to make so many simple grammar mistakes. Simple grammar mistakes, again, are is and are. Okay? He, she, that kind of error. So, again, it is speaking. So now we need to speak this answer in 1 minute. Okay? And let's make sure that while we're speaking, we follow along and focus on my flow and intonation. Flow. Slowly, continuously. Okay? And try not to stop so much. Intonation just means how I pronounce sentences. Pronunciation, we need to make sure it's okay to have an accent, but just the pronunciation, the word needs to sound like the word, or we need to say the word. It can't not sound like a different word, okay? So that's the only time why we need to say it clearly. So here I go, follow along, okay? Hello, Justin. I think the full-length locker is better for some reasons. Firstly, I think this locker is more convenient because it is longer, and this will make it easier for you to put all your work clothes, lunch, and other belongings. Secondly, I think this locker is more modern because it has a number lock, and this will make it easier for you to remember the number. But with the lock, you can forget your keys sometimes. Lastly, I think this locker is better because it has a longer mirror. So this can make it easier for you to get ready after work. Okay, very good. So you see there, I said that in about 50 seconds. And of course, I said that slowly and clearly, okay? And I hope you were focusing on my intonation, okay? So everyone, what can we do to practice? Well, to practice, the first thing that we can do is read and understand the ideas. We need to read and understand how we organized everything, okay? All right. We need to read and understand the ideas, how we express them using comparatives, okay? And how we explain them. Why is it more convenient? And why is that better? We need to read and understand that, okay, everyone? Then after that, we should try to read and speak this answer in 1 minute. Okay? That's important because the more that you read and speak this answer in 1 minute, the more you will develop your flow and intonation. And that's what we need to develop to speak it in 1 minute. Okay? So for that, everyone, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description box to the sample question. Okay? And you can practice reading the answer. There it is. Now, how many times do you have to practice reading and speaking? Well, I will give you a hint. I think you should practice reading and speaking it until you can speak it by yourself in 1 minute without reading it. Can you do that? Well, if you can do that, then you're level 6 or higher. And the level 6 or higher, after reading it a few times, 3 or 4 times, they can speak it. Or something similar, not exactly. We want to try to do it from your knowledge, not memory. Okay, everyone? And also, everyone, let's not forget about CELPIP Library. CELPIP Library has over 50 examples of speaking part 5. And these examples will really help you boost your level, increase your level. Okay, everyone? So, with CELPIP code 79, again, that is discount code CELPIP79, you can get a 3-month subscription for only $10.99. That's a great deal, everyone, and I strongly recommend it. So don't forget, practice makes perfect.